Hello students, welcome to another video of Polity Today. Today we will discuss about the various sources of Indian Constitution, and we know that Indian Constitution is the largest written constitution of the world, and its various features are adapted and taken from various constitutions all over the world. And today we will discuss it in details. We have already discussed the evolution of Indian Constitution in step-by-step manner and the making of a constituent assembly and drafting of constitution in my previous videos, and today we will discuss see the sources of Indian Constitution. We know the main source of Indian Constitution was the Government of India Act, that is the Act of 1935. We have discussed it in the evolution of Indian Constitution. It was the basis of the Indian Constitution and served as a blueprint of Indian Constitution. And the idea of the federal system, the features of federal system, and the system of governor, the emergency powers, all are taken from the Government of India Act 1935. Although it was a basis of Indian Constitution, but the various features are imported from the constitutions of various countries all over the world. We will see one by one of them. First is the Constitution of Britain. From Britain, the law-making procedure was taken, and the rule of law, the idea of single citizenship, that Indian citizens can have a single citizenship of any one country. The idea of single citizenship was taken from the Constitution of Britain, and the bicameral parliamentary system, that is there are two houses, that is the upper house and the lower house, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, which are responsible for making of laws. And this is the bicameral system, and this idea was taken from the Constitution of Britain. And the presence of office of CAG, that is the Comptroller and Auditor General, this idea was also taken from the Constitution of Britain. Then the Constitution of USA. The independence of judiciary, that the judiciary is not responsible or not answerable to the legislature or the executive body, and this independence of the judiciary was taken from the Constitution of USA. Also, the procedure of judicial review, the fundamental rights, removal of Supreme Court and High Court judges, the procedure of removal, and the presence of preamble of the Constitution, and functions of the president and the vice president was included from the constitution of the USA. Then the Constitution of Canada, the very important feature, that is the federation with a strong center. This idea was taken from the Constitution of Canada, that our center, our country, our state acts as a unit of various states, and all states have some powers, but they are responsible to the center, that the center is more powerful, and that is called the federation with strong center. And this idea was imported from the Constitution of Canada. And the Supreme Court's advisory jurisdiction was also taken from the Constitution of Canada. Then comes the Constitution of Ireland, the directive principle of state policies and the method of presidential election, the nomination of members of Rajya Sabha by the president was also taken from the Constitution of Ireland. Then the Weimar Constitution of Germany, the provisions of the suspension of the fundamental rights during emergency, this idea was taken from the Constitution of Germany. When an emergency situation happens in the country, the fundamental rights of the citizens are suspended, and this was taken from the Constitution of Germany. Then comes the Constitution of Australia. The idea of concurrent list was taken from the Constitution of Australia, and the trade and commerce provisions are also taken from the Australia. And what is the concurrent list? The concurrent list is the list of subjects on which both the center and the states make laws. Both the state and the center have power, and this is called the idea of concurrent list. And this idea was imported from the Constitution of Australia. Then comes the Constitution of South Africa. the amendment of the constitution with two-third majority in the parliament and the election of the members of Rajya Sabha on the basis of proportional representation was imported from the constitution of South Africa. Then comes the constitution of France, the republican system, the principle of liberty, equality and fraternity, which is the main features of our constitution, and was taken from the uh, constitution of France. And what is the liberty? That is the every citizens are free to lead their life without any restrictions. And equality, the citizens of the state are equal before the law, before the government, um, uh, and, this is called the equality. And what is fraternity? It is also known as brotherhood, and it is the promotion of brotherhood among the citizens of the nation, that is called the fraternity. And this idea was taken from the constitution of France. Then comes the constitution of former USSR, which was USSR at that time of when our constitution was written. Later, it was divided, and from the former constitution of USSR, the idea of fundamental duties, the duties of the citizens towards their country, and the ideals of the justice in the preamble was taken from the constitution of the USSR. And these are all about the sources of our constitution. And we will discuss about the schedules, the 12 schedules of Indian constitution in my next video. And this is all for today.